Stardust Racers is the newest roller coaster built by Universal Studios at their brand new Epic Universe. You can kind of call this the star attraction of the park, or at least one of them. It's the main roller coaster in Celestial Park, which is the middle part where all the other universes like kind of branch off of. But this ride is amazing. We've already ridden it. It's a racing roller coaster made by Mach, dual launch, amazing coaster. So this video is all about 10 facts that you probably didn't know about this roller coaster. I guess we'll start off, we've been saying Stardust Racers, I guess the first fact that we'll go over. And this one, if you've been following this project since earlier on, you may already know this one. But it wasn't originally called Stardust Racers, it was Starfall Racers.
Yeah, and that's what they were calling it for a long time before they eventually had to change the name to Stardust Racers before the park opened.
Stardust Racers was a backup name that they had in place, but Starfall Education sued them for a trademark violation, saying that people may end up getting like confused or whatever, because I don't know if Starfall Education is a school or what, but I mean, people might confuse a roller coaster for some education thing. So it was supposed to be Starfall Racers, now it's Stardust. So that's the first fact. The next fact is that each train has its own Easter egg on it, calling back to an old classic film, Back to the Future. On the back of every single train, there is a flux capacitor, and that is because this ride is all about flying through time and flying through like the universe. And if you look on the back of each train, you will see that flux capacitor. And speaking of the trains, a third fact is that right now, if you go to the park, they're only running 2 trains on each side. So it's a dueling racing coaster, so that means there's 2 separate tracks. And so each one you'll find has 2 trains on it, but the actual coaster was built to run 4. And currently it can't run 4 yet because they're understaffed with maintenance. So that means that they can't get all like the final testing and all that done with the other trains. So they've actually run 4 trains on the ride before, but never with any and never when it's been like open to the public or anything like that. But if you're watching this video down the line, maybe it already has 4 trains, so you already know it. Mm-hmm. But once that happens, this thing is going to be an absolute beast for capacity. This thing's just going to fly through the line.
Yeah, I mean, 4 trains on each side, and obviously they need it because it's a brand new Universal Studios park. It gets long lines, so this will really help once they get all 8 trains on the track at once.
Now moving on to number 4, we talked about how it's a dueling racing coaster. So there's a green side and yellow side, but whenever you're going up and you have to get in line for one or the other, green side tends to get a lot longer of a line than the yellow side. So I guess you can kind of say this is a fact because that's what we found in our visits, and then whenever we've ridden the ride, and then what I've heard from other people. So it seems pretty consistent. So if you go to the left, you'll go to the yellow side, which will be a much shorter line than the right side.
And I don't know if that has anything to do with the fact that it seems like everyone likes the green side a lot more. Personally, when we rode it, I didn't think there was too big of a difference between both sides. But it seems like a lot of people like the green side more, so that might be a reason why the green side does get a little bit of a longer line.
And the next fact is that there is no official licensed merchandise for Stardust Racers at the moment. If you go to the park and you can look for, say you want like a roller coaster t-shirt, you can get it for like Curse of the Werewolf and some other rides. But currently you cannot find anything for Stardust Racers. Again, if you're watching this in the future, maybe that changed and will get changed at some point.
Which I'm sure there will be some official Stardust Racers merchandise down the line because, I mean, why wouldn't there be? Yeah,
that would be something that we thought would be there right away when we went down, and we were excited to get a Stardust Racers shirt, but none existed. So as of the filming this video, there are no official Stardust Racers t-shirts. And on to the next fact. Now, this is a racing coaster, and both are supposed to be what they're advertised is, I think, 5,000 feet of track on both sides. Mm-hmm. But in reality, one side, and I'm not sure which side, but one side is actually a little bit longer. What, about 20 feet longer or something?
Something like 20 feet longer. But for whatever reason, one side is, like 20 feet longer than the other.
Although the official stats will show them as identical lengths, there is a little bit difference from one side to the other. And this next fact I found to be like very interesting, because most roller coasters will have lights on the actual track, on the lift hill and throughout the course or whatever. But this ride has absolutely no lights on it whatsoever. So if it's dark out, the only lights that you'll see whenever this ride is running is actually on the train itself. It has onboard audio and lighting. So it's supposed to look like a comet, like shooting through the sky or whatever.
Yeah, let me tell you, it looks really cool if you see it. We didn't see it in person, but I've seen plenty of videos of just the dark track and the lights from the trains going through the course, and it looks really, really cool. So, you might think, oh, I wish there were some lights on the track or something, but believe me, it looks really cool seeing the two trains go through the course, and it does look like a comet or something like that.
Now on to the 8th fact, and the 8th and 9th fact kind of run together and have a lot to do with one another. So we'll start with number 8. Most roller coasters, if you look, their transfer track, the place that they move trains whenever they're not in use or need repair or whatever, is usually right by the station.
Yeah, it's usually on the brake run. You'll go into the brake run, and usually you'll see another set of tracks. Like I said, usually before you get to the station, and that is a transfer track where they store trains. But on Stardust Racers, it's a little bit different, the way they use the transfer track and the area that it's placed in.
The transfer track is actually right in the middle of the first launch. So having it located too far outside of the actual platform is a little rare. I'm not sure exactly why they did this. I'm thinking maybe aesthetically, like it would look better.
Yeah, either that or there just wasn't enough room, or it would be hard to fit in, because the way the brake run is, it's really weird, because the whole station is like very weird and very uniquely shaped. So I don't know if they just didn't have room for it, or they did it for aesthetics, or maybe a little bit of both. I don't know.
And this leads us to our 9th fact, which has a lot to do with the switch track being in the middle of the first launch. So whenever you hit this launch, you'll notice that you kind of accelerate, but then you kind of like stop launching for a second, which is kind of rare. But then you pick up on another launch. It's like you have two launches in one.
Yeah, and it kind of catches you off guard. Like if you've ridden something like Pantheon or Tutatis, how those have one launch and then you go over an airtime hill and then you launch again. It's kind of similar to that, except there's no airtime hill in the middle. But the reason that the launch is broken up is because that switch track is there, and there can't be stators on the switch track, because I'm assuming something with wiring or, whatever. Obviously, switch tracks move over, so for whatever reason, they can't be connected. And but either way, that is the reason why there are two launches on that first launch.
So we found this to be very interesting as well, because like when we were riding it, like we said, it kind of catches you off guard. So here, after you know the reason for it, then it kind of like makes sense.
Yeah, I think it really adds to the ride though, because I think, especially like I said, first time riding and you're not expecting it, it really just like gives you a very unexpected launch, which is a lot of fun.
And last but certainly not least, this fact I think is the most important fact of them all. And yes, this is indeed a fact. It's not opinion. That Stardust Racers is indeed the best roller coaster in Florida.
Yes, it is not an opinion. It is a fact.
Yes, it has won the record for being the best roller coaster in Florida.
Not actually, but, we think it's definitely the best
Well,
coaster.
we think it's the best.
And it seems like a lot of people really think it is. Velocicoaster, Iron Gwazi, Stardust Racers is a great top 3. We think Stardust is the best out of those 3, though.
So that is it with this video. 10 things that you probably did not know about the brand new Stardust Racers. If there's anything that we left out that you think is kind of interesting, why don't you leave a comment down below. Like this video if you found it entertaining or interesting or informational. And of course, if you're new to this channel, please consider going down and subscribing. And then what else? A huge shout out to our channel members.
Yeah.
All these people you see on the screen, they joined our channel membership and they help us out so much. So thank you to all our channel members. If you're interested in anything like that, go down, link in the description. That'll take you to our channel membership page. So that is it for this video. 10 things you probably didn't know, and we'll see you guys next time here at Beach Cliff Studios. See ya.